So here we are given the task of solving the following equation. And what they mean by solving is we need to get x by itself. We need to figure out for what number when we plug in x are we going to get 0. And so I will show you guys how to check for this in the end. Once we figure out what our x is, I will show you how you can plug that x back in into our equation, and then we will get 0 on each side. And so the first thing that we can do is, if you notice, there is an x squared here and there is an x there. So this means that we can factor out an x, and then we have this left over. And so now I like to think of it as two scenarios. I have this one scenario here, and then I have another scenario here. And so 2 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So I want you to think of, any number that we put in here. If this x is 0, then we will get 0. And so this lets us know that this x is equal to 0. And so then we have this other little scenario over here, 3x minus 11 equals 0. And so now we will just be solving for x for this one. So then we're left with plus 11, and then we add 11 on each side to cancel out the 11s on the left side, and we're left with 3x equals 11. And in order to cancel out this 3, we need to divide by 3 on both sides. You have to remember that what you do on one side you have to do on the other side. And so 3 over 3 is just 1, and so we can stop writing those, and we're just left with 1x here, and then this is just left with 11 over 3. And so these are our two values, and if we plug them back into our original problem, we can see that we will get 0 for both of them. And so let's go ahead and let's do that. So let's plug in x equals 0 for our original problem, which was this, 3x squared minus 11x. So 3x squared minus 11x equals 0. We'll call this verify. So anywhere you see an x, you will plug in 0. So 3 times 0 squared minus 11 times 0 equals 0. And so 0 squared is just 0. Anything times 0 is just 0. So that's what 11 times 0 is. And then we get 3 times 0 again, that's 0, minus 0 equals 0. So 0 equals 0. So perfect. This works out for when x equals 0. Now let's do for when x equals 11 over 3. And again, anywhere you see an x, you will plug in 11 over 3. So 3 times 11 over 3 squared minus 11 times 11 over 3. And so 11 over 3 squared means the following: 11 over 3 times 11 over 3 minus 121 over 3. When you have a whole number multiplying a fraction, you can just multiply the whole number times the top number of the fraction and then divide by 3. And then equals 0. And so 3 times 121, we will end up with 9 here in the bottom, because with fractions, you always multiply across, and you multiply the top and the bottom. So we're left with 121 over 3. And then 3 times 121 gives us 363 over 9 minus 121 over 3. And we can simplify this 363 over 9 even further. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't simplify it. We can multiply this 121 over 3 by 3 in order to get 9 as our denominator. And what I mean by that is the following. we need them to have the same common denominator in order to combine them, in order to add them or subtract them. And so afterwards we get the following: 363 over 9 minus 363 over 9. And so you can see that they're the same, so it's just 363 minus 363 over 9 equals 0, and that is just 0 over 9 equals 0, and 0 divided by anything gives you 0, so therefore this one works out as well.